the biggest mistake any company can make when going into a new market is thinking that their past success is a predictor of their future success.
How many times have we seen people fail because they just simply thought past success indicates future success? It doesn't happen. Episode 210 of the Dan Bradbury Podcast. I'm excited to be finally here in the UK again in our Mill Street Studios location. And I've got a little bit of a rant for you today, my friend. But you're going to like this one. This one isn't me just being weird about the fact that Brits have way too much onions in everything.
That's so funny. I had to clean my teeth especially hard before coming in this morning because I had a very onion and garlic heavy breakfast.
There you go. See, you're just reinforcing my stereotypes that I believe in. No, this one is a follow-up to one of our previous podcasts where we were talking about Sweetwater music doing over 1.5 some odd billion, despite the fact that they have one music store and their competition has over 300. I had to go to a music store the other day.
Okay.
Yep. So right before I had to go out of town, I've got a show coming up in my studio, and we need 3 mics. I got 2. So I went down. I thought, I've got to get this thing ready to go. So I went to a local music store, Guitar Center. I don't mind saying the name because it was horrible. Showed up at...
I just want to say that the views of Topher Morrison don't necessarily reflect the views of Dan Bradbury Unlimited.
But if you went to Guitar Center, you would have these same views. So I get there at 11:10. Now, I had to... You know me, I haven't had a car in, 15 years, 13 years? So I rented a car, hourly car rental. Zip car, which I love, by the way. We'll give them a plug. So I rent the car, get down there, show up at 11:10 because they open at 11 a.m. Door's still closed. Somebody standing outside. I knock on the door. Employees look at me and just walk away. I get on the phone. I call. The phone rings at least 30 times. Finally, somebody picks up the phone. I said, hey, what time do you guys open? They go, at 11 o'clock. I said, yeah, I'm outside. Could you come open the door for me? And he goes, yeah, we're having problems counting the cash. We need to have somebody else come in, so we can't open the door yet. I'm like, I'm not paying cash. I'm paying with a credit card. Can you just come in and let me shop first, and then I'll happily wait until the register's open? No, can't do that. I waited until, and I only rented the car for 2 hours because I also had to get ready to go to the airport.
Right.
Waited there till 11:27 before the doors opened. Go in. I'm the first person to walk through the door, get into the pro audio. Some freshman in college sitting on the phone, won't even look at me. The guy next to him, I said, can you help me with the mics? He goes, no, that guy's got to do it. I'm like, all right. So I have to wait for this kid to get off the phone. Then I'm asking about lapel mics. He doesn't know anything. Idiots. So I finally said, I'll take that one. I'm ready to go. And I go to pay, and they don't accept contactless payment. What year is this? They wouldn't take contactless payment. Now I'm trying to spend $500 with them. And I said, well, can you just manually enter the card? No, can't do that. I said, okay. So then I turn a little bit Karen. I go, can you get me the manager? They go get the manager. He goes, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I'm like, there's not a merchant account in the world that doesn't allow for manual overdraft. You can punch it in. I see the keys right there on the thing. You can enter it in. They wouldn't do it. I walked out, went back to the office, and spent $750 on Sweetwater.
Yeah, I suspect nobody else gives a crap, Topher, but I am seething here in this story. I'll see you.
Right?
I'll see you, and I'll raise you.
Okay. Oh, well, Dan's got his own rant. Go, go, go.
So, if there's one thing you don't want to fuck with, Topher, it's my coffee, right?
Yes, because you have a vast array of beans in your house, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't mess with my coffee, Topher. So anyway, I have multiple coffee machines in my house, but the one that we use every day. So my partner, she was a trained barista. My assistant, she was also a trained barista. So we have a proper group head coffee machine, right? None of this bean to cup shit. Like proper, we grind
Yes.
the beans ourselves, and then. Right.
I will attest to this. I've been in your home, and I have seen the absolute elitism that exists amongst your family with coffee.
Anyway, so not happy. It's broken. So like my life is broken.
Yes.
It's on a part of
I can
like
relate
one
to
of my children is severely injured. It's like we have a problem. This is a code red situation. Oh, freeze, please. We need to resolve this coffee. So we go over to the local Currys, which in the UK is like a big chain store that does all electrical devices, but it also does home appliances.
So you're about to go off on Currys.
Yes.
The views and opinions of Dan Bradbury do not reflect the views and opinions of Topher Morrison.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to say they don't reflect the views of my company. Completely disconnected. The company that bet that upon named company. So anyway, I go in because I looked up online. And I'm going. You know what? I'm gonna because the coffee machine is relatively new, so it's under. It can get returned.
Sure.
And I'm gonna going. Oh, my assistant's going. Oh, we can return it. I'm going. But this is going to take days. Like, this is a problem. We need coffee.
Did she not hear? This is a code red.
Exactly. So I'm going, you know what? You can get a refund of that. I'm going to go and buy another coffee machine. And I'm going, I'll order it on Amazon. And then Laurie, my partner, says, she's like, oh, go to the local store. Because it's slightly cheaper, because she's more frugal than I. And she's like, oh, it's £20 cheaper. I'm going, I don't care. I can order it on Amazon right now, and it'll be here tomorrow morning. So
she was right, by the way. Support local.
Even though Curry's is a massive chain. Anyway, whatever. So it's not local. It's slightly more local than Amazon, maybe, but whatever. So I go down and I go, okay, fine. I look down and there are not one, not two, but 3 machines.
How many?
3 machines that meet our criteria. It's not the crappy little individual espresso machines, but machines with group heads, right? And I'm there, and Laurie goes, oh, call me when you're there and FaceTime them. Send me pictures because, again, used to be a barista. She's a bit more particular. And by the way, I'm obsessed about my coffee, but I don't know shit about what I'm doing. I don't know.
You had me fooled because I thought, you're using terminology that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's only my affiliation. I've rightfully got imposter syndrome. I don't know what I'm doing. So I can't make good coffee. I can just appreciate it being made for me. So and I've got the card to pay for it. So I go in, I'm like, okay, which one of these? And I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty close, but this one.
By the way, that's Kroenig-Dunning effect, not imposter syndrome.
Okay, thank you. Yes, yep. You're right. So I go, right, I rank machines 1, 2, and 3, and she's like, oh, it's quite close between 1 and 2, and then there's an outlier 3, right? All the other machines don't work for what we want, right? 1, 2, and 3. I go, great. Go and find somebody. First of all, I have to hunt down the store, and it's a I don't know, it's probably a 10,000 square foot. It's a massive space, and I have to hunt on a different floor to find someone and say, can you come up? He comes up. I'm like, okay, great. Give me that one. He goes, okay, yeah, let me just see if that one's available. I'm like, it's on the shelf. It's on the shelf.
Should be available.
So he goes out and back and goes, no, sorry, that's not available. And he goes, I went, okay, fine. Give me that one, because this was much of a muchness, very similar to these two. I'll have that one. It's like, it's the slight different version, model of the same brand. I'm like, I'll have that one then. Fine. And he goes, okay, let me have a look. And I went, I'm thinking smart now, Topher. I go, if that one's not available, get me this one. Right? I'm leaving with the damn coffee machine.
I can tell you're committed.
That's happening. So he goes away, comes back and goes, nope, we don't have it. I'm like, right, so just to be clear, you don't have that one, or that one, or that one. And he went, no. And I went, he goes, you can order it on our website and it'll be here like 3 days from now. Yeah. And I'm like, I can order it on Amazon and it'll be here in 12 hours. I'm like, what machines do you have? Goes away, comes back, of about 12 machines. Do you know how many they had in stock?
I'm afraid to even know.
1. They had one. But here's what blows my...
The injustice. The tragedy.
Topher, this isn't about coffee. This is about what he represents.
That's customer service.
No, but the point is, I'm like, so I thought creatively. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, give me that one.
Buy the floor copy.
Give me the display. I can't do that. I'm like, why not? He goes, because it's for display. I'm like, yeah, for display for what purpose? For you to attract customers to want to buy it. I'm like, you haven't got shit in this store. Give me that thing. You can at least make the sale. If not, I'm literally ordering it on Amazon right now. And he's like, I can't do it.
Oh, and like, you're really threatening him now. Like, this minimum wage employee's like, I could care less.
And that's what blows my mind. I kind of go, it's not about it being minimum wage, but it's like, there's so many people that just do not give a rat's ass.
He didn't care.
And the thing that blows my mind is, people, and Curry's isn't a local store, but they wonder why they're losing out to Amazon. I'm kind of going, and then I go, and of course I'm grumpy with Miri, and I'm grumpy with Laurie, and I'm like, because I haven't got my damn coffee machine, right? And then, by the way, the company then said, oh, we'll send you a replacement, but I'd already ordered another one, so we got 2 coffee machines to my house the next morning. Anyway, but why are you losing out? Your business isn't offering anything. I'm like, right. I can go, see the reviews, order it, and it'll be here tomorrow. And you know what? With Amazon, nearly always is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even though it wasn't a local store, it could have been a local store that I would have tried to support. I'm like, oh yeah, no, but how? And I just went, how is this business still in business?
Yeah.
How are they not broke? They've got all this overhead. They've got all these staff members that ain't doing shit as far as I can say. I understand having the stock of all the models available. It's hard. It's a hard game. But...
And there's no excuse for that. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to do it.
So now that you and I are just ranting at each other's, if you're listening to this, like, where are you doing this in your business? Like, where are you inadvertently screwing the customer because you go, oh, it's difficult, and therefore you are just going to lose the business?
Yeah.
All I wanted was damn coffee, Topher. Give me coffee. Anyway, that's my rant.
All right. But good rant. I'm glad. I think we both feel a little better now. Let's move on to news of the week.
I have no idea what day of the week it is. Yeah. I don't know what episode we're in. All right. So the current news. This is about Brewdog. So this is a craft beer. Do you know Brewdog, Topher?
They're a Scottish company. Is that right? They're local to the UK. I think. Is that right?
Well, they're UK. I don't know where they're founded. I'm pretty sure they're Northwest. They're not Scottish, but the UK craft beer company. They've gotten some controversial news in the past from being a little bit culturally toxic with their employees
and marketing, if I'm not mistaken. As well.
Right. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a controversial company, which dare I say it, has been known to happen in alcohol companies that produce alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And
anywhere drinking is encouraged on the job, I suppose you're bound to have a couple more risks there than a normal company.
So they're expanding into China. Oh, no, you're right. I've just seen the article. They are, in fact, Scottish. So you are correct. I can't believe I've just been criticized by an American.
Oh.
Anyway.
Can we just pause for a moment? Just let me soak this in a little bit.
It doesn't happen very often. So they're expanding into China. So they are going into new markets. And, and as a reminder, this was a company that was getting ready to float on the stock market in 2020. And they had to put it on the back burner.
Because of COVID?
Because of COVID and all the bars and pubs shutting down. But then they also got battered. They got battered with the what was the promo piece? I think we covered it a few weeks ago, where it was the gold cans. So they were giving away gold cans of beer, but then they got sued because they were gold-plated cans of beer, and the winners sued
they actually wanted solid gold.
Correct, wanted solid gold.
Oh my god!
And they won, and so it was misrepresentative. So when they won the gold-plated cans of beer, they actually took action, and they ended up paying out. How much money was it?
£500,000
£500,000 to the winners of this.
That reminds me of. Do you remember? I think it was the Pepsi. I think it was Pepsi. Like 20 years ago, did this thing where you could save tops of cans or something and put them in, and they did a Harrier jet.
Yes.
And somebody did the math and realized that they could buy a Harrier jet for like $750,000, and the guy actually got the funding, and bought them all, and then sued them.
Yeah. It's a great Netflix episode. That is.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I suppose here's the thing that is going to be interesting. I mean, this company, on the one hand, it's grown so rapidly, it's employed so many people, but then there's a lot of controversy goes around it. A couple of lessons. One is, if you're going to go quickly, there's going to be some people who say bad things, right? You need to be immune to that. But at the same time, Topher, I mean, how many companies struggle when they go into China? Not that this is about China. I think a mistake that a lot of companies make when going into a new market,
correct, is
they get lured in by their previous success, and they think it's an indicator or a predictor of their future performance.
Yeah, when it's not, right? Past performance does not in any way determine future success. This one in particular, by the way, I tell you, going into China, more companies fail going into China markets than any other new market, though.
That doesn't surprise me in the least. My guess is that's due to significant cultural differences.
Right? There's actually a thing in China called, I think, forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, but I think it's called Guangxi. And Guangxi is the relationship that you and I have together. So in China, you're going to go in for your meeting, like Americans screw this up all the time. They go in with their slide decks and ready to go. The first 5 meetings in a Chinese meeting, you're drinking. you're golfing.
Right.
They're getting to know who you are. Don't even talk about business, right? Because they need to build that guanxi
relationship first. Yeah.
So it's the trust amongst people. It's a closed off trust.
So I mean, Brewdog, controversial, like it, rapid, a true gazelle company. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in China. And I think there's lessons. I think of members of ours. I think of Shujan Shah from Rakaba Packaging Group. I think of Salvatore Nataro, like when they've expanded into other countries, it's been fascinating how sometimes it takes off, and it can literally be a key. If you're listening right now, it can be a key to radically multiplying your sales. It's just replicated in a different market. But some countries and cultures, it is absolutely not a case of translating the website into German or Spanish or whatever. Yeah. It just does not work.
I remember, in fact, I also remember another story. I think it was Walmart. When they went into China, they failed because they were used to selling things in bulk. And they were trying to import these watermelons, and they didn't realize that nobody would buy a watermelon this big because they couldn't fit in the baskets on their bikes. They only buy watermelons this big.
Actually, I hope I don't misrepresent this, Sujan, but let me see if I remember this correctly. So Sujan, who they sell, it's the carrier bag shop, and they sell packaging.
By the way, Sujan already tuned out because we went on a rant this time, and he doesn't like our rants.
We'll
have to email him and say, stick through the rant. We're going to talk about you, Sujan.
So in Germany, where they have, I think they've got a warehouse in Germany as well selling there. And if I remember rightly, their e-com sales, because most of their packaging is sold to retailers, but it's done online, right? So people go online and order what they need, whether it's pre-printed paper bags with like the shop's logo or not. And in Germany, it's something ridiculous. This sounds outrageous, but I'm sure it's not a million miles away from this. It's 80% of the orders. The way that it works culturally is you order it, you don't pay.
Oh,
they ship you all the stuff, but culturally it's not acceptable not to pay, and they'll return it if it's not adequate or whatever. But that's the way that it works. And when Sujan and his business partner Neil first went into there, it was like a bit of a shock. It's like that just wouldn't happen in the UK or the US.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, place your order. We'll ship you all the stuff. We'll just send you a bill and hope you send it back. But it's something like 80 or 90%. It's an outrage. And I'm like, what, Sujan? You're telling me Germany?
Wow.
One of the, whatever number it is, it's in the G8, one of the biggest economies in the world. And it's all just done on trust, basically. And he's like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, what's the bad debt like? So immediately from a business point of view, I'm thinking, what's the bad debt? You must get defrauded. People run off with it. And he goes, oh, no, it's astonishingly low. And it's a fraction. And he goes, it totally works. I'm like, huh. Yeah. And it just stretched my brain. I'm like, why wouldn't you try it in the UK? And he's like, oh, no, that wouldn't work. Right?
By the way, could you imagine not being aware of that, going into a market like that, and all of a sudden you're crunched for cash flow because you got to produce all this product and give it away before another 30, 60, 90 days comes around and the money comes in.
But it's interesting overcoming the culture, right? Because they can kind of go, well, they get into Germany, and I believe Salvatore sells in Germany as well, and Vivo Life, so that plant-based supplements. And all of a sudden you kind of go, yeah, but if other people won't go there because culturally they don't get it, they don't get the sales because people don't order because you're asking them to pay or do it in a different way than normal, so they're resistant. So the competitors don't go there, and you go, right, I'll have one of the biggest economies in the world.
Wide open market.
Yeah, so just fascinating stuff.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk about the fail of the week.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well caffeinated today. So this rhymes with Brewdog. We're not predicting their failure in China. We're just saying, this will be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
This is an interesting article from Metro News, which is about computer gaming. So
we should probably say we know nothing about this topic at all, other than it's a company.
Well, yeah. I know nothing about this topic other than I pay a lot of money for games, but I don't play any of them.
Yeah. You probably. Yeah, your kids probably play.
So please forgive us, any of the gamers in there. My sister's actually an avid gamer, but these names mean nothing to me. So Square Enix is how I think it's pronounced. Admits Forspoken failure as overall sales drop for a second year in a row. And this article is just talking about, gaming. Topher, do you have any idea of the size of the gaming industry?
Yes, but I couldn't give you numbers. But I'll tell you this, way, way bigger than I was expecting it would be.
Yeah, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not going to quote numbers. I'm going to quote relative size. I'm pretty certain it's something like 5 times bigger than movies and music combined. It's like it's so astronomical. You go, that cannot be true. It cannot be true. But then all of a sudden I go, okay, think of the household. I think of my house, my kids. My kids all each playing their individual games and their individual devices, right? And I kind of go, huh. Yeah, I can.
And the upsell, because they have, look, business is trying to gamify now because we've seen that model of success work for them, right?
Because it's addictive.
Yeah.
Highly, highly addictive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this company, so Square Enix made this company's Forspoken, which was, I believe, a sequel from a previous game. I don't know what the previous one was called. Pre-spoken?
I think it was Forspoken, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Anyway,
but they had a huge success coming out for their next launch of their next game, and it was not.
Well, it was lackluster. So it was actually outperformed by SpongeBob SquarePants,
right?
The game, which is a game I do know.
But again, who knows, right? You can't predict that.
But I do have a distaste for how the media speak, right? They kind of...
Yeah, I think that's the important part here is because the media loves to just shit on things to make it sound worse than it is. But the reality is the numbers were trending down already as it was. So the odds of this sequel succeeding as much as the first one is highly unlikely just because of the downward trend of the sales in that industry at that point in time.
Look at this quote. I hate this bullshit. Net sales declined year-on-year in the HD games subsegment, partly because the release of major titles a year earlier had created a challenging year-on-year hurdle. So in other words, because there were some blockbusters released last year, we're down this year, right? And that's where, I'm thinking of a Buffett-esque quote now, which is the way to get a reputation of being a good business person is choose a good business, i.e. a good industry, right? It's kind of like, and then it'll make you, and gaming is one of those industries, a bit like film. Like if you look at the economics of film versus music, like you can spend $100 million, or way more than that, on a movie and get an absolute train wreck of it, and have big Hollywood stars, great script writers, and still strike out. Yeah. You can get commercial flops, whereas music, in terms of the risk-reward ratio, it's much more stacked in the favor of music. So if I was choosing a business from an economic point of view that I wanted to go in and I had to choose film or music, I'd choose music. And it feels to me like games are like film. Because interestingly in this, this article puts it off as though the company is just trying to make excuses for lackluster economic performance. But they're actually commenting about, I can't find the point now, they'll point about how the developments in the technology, I can't find the specific part, effectively the new techniques that they developed with this game that has performed substandard means that they're going to be an even higher standard going forward, right? And technology advances and the gamers want the best games and the best technology and there has to be an investment in R&D. They just commercially have struck out, even though the comments about the certain aspects of the production was really good. Yeah. And that's where it feels to me like this is a tough industry, a lot of money to be made. But like the lesson for people listening to this is you've got to understand that the game and the business that you're in. Like what's the difference that makes a difference? But B, you've also got to have a long-term time horizon because a bit like with Brewdog, you're not going to knock it out the park every single time. Yeah. And you've got to be careful not to get lured into kind of confirmation bias or success bias and going, oh yeah, I won last time, so I'm going to win again. You can have everything right and you can still strike out. Yeah.
Oh, and also, by the way, another lesson is learn to read the waves too, right? Like if they were looking at the trends, maybe they should have said, oh, we should maybe hold off for another 6 months while we let SpongeBob SquarePants die down a little bit. Because they're playing in a red ocean at that time.
Yeah, that might be true too. But then maybe you're trying to time the market. Anyway, I think that segment truthfully proves that we know nothing about gaming.
There's no question about that. All right, let's move on, my friend.
Okay, hero of the week. I love this guy, Ryan Reynolds.
First off, every man loves Ryan Reynolds. Let's just get it right out there. That man could turn most of us.
I was like teeing up for a joke there somewhere, but anyway.
Ryan Reynolds, he's cool. By the way, I think he is close to doing $1 billion.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, here's where he's cool. I mean, look, Ryan Reynolds is a cool guy, and he is funny as hell.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
I find him hilarious. He's got he's got a formulaic approach to some of his jokes. Like it's the classic non sequitur response.
Even when the launch of this news, when T-Mobile offered to buy Mint Mobile, he did a video where he went to this, I think it was the CEO of T-Mobile, and it's great to have a new dad, and he hugged him on the launch video.
Yeah, see, he's smart, and that's what he's got a great personal brand. Yeah. So basically, the headline is he sold his wireless company for more than $1 billion, right? So he sold to T-Mobile for $1.35 billion. Now we don't know what that means to as it relates to him. Rumors are that he owns 25%.
Right.
So, what's that going to be? A paltry $300 or so million?
Yeah.
He might be able to scrape by.
Well, but he also, in fact, I think in the article actually shows this as well, but he had an alcohol company that he sold for over $600 million.
American Gin?
Something, yeah.
American Aviation?
Yeah.
And so, look, I love it. More often than not, it's done badly, Topher, but I do love when celebrities, they use their status to launch a business career and they get it right.
Yeah.
And there are numerous people that are well-renowned for succeeding in business. People like Jay-Z. Dare I say it? Some of the Kardashian family. Right? I'm not commenting on them as individuals, but I kind of go, you know what? Give credit to you.
Smart brands.
Yeah. You got a position and you were able to capitalize on it when they've been able to sustain it long term. So, and it seems like this is a guy, acting like I know him personally, this is a guy that has done some extremely smart business deals, but he also just seems like a cool
a cool guy.
Well, like the Wrexham United, the whole thing about, by the Welsh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just hilarious about, it was almost like, oh, why not? And then, I forget his wife's name. Blake, that's right. And when it's kind of like, oh yeah, I bought a football team. She was not happy apparently, but it just.
I think he'll do okay.
Approachable. Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, it's interesting, money in football, but regardless, the point is, it was such a jumping off point for him. It's like, so he's constantly in the UK news now, way more. I mean, how many A-list actors are there? Great, we know them. We see them when they're in movies. We might go and see them. We might not. But now this guy is like ever present, omnipresence.
Yeah.
Just like all over the place for donations to charity, for stuff relating to football, stuff relating to his films, all his business deals. And now, of course, he's got the biggest accolade at all. He's on the Dan Bradbury Podcast. Ryan Reynolds. You are welcome.
Your move, my friend. Your move.
We'll tell you where to send the commission check. Call me.
By the way, even his Welsh football team that he owns now, I don't think he cares if they win or not. He's going to make millions just on the Netflix show. I think it's a Netflix show, right? Yeah, he's got a Netflix show about. I think it's Netflix. Could be Amazon Prime. I don't know. But
everywhere.
He's already doing great on the show with the team. It's like a real life Ted Lasso.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, I think the lessons there are, how can you get your positioning in your brand? It serves as a jumping off point, because let's be honest, don't get me wrong, selling your company for $1.35 billion is outrageously successful, but there's a lot of deals like that happen, and there's not many that are mainstream news. I'm not talking about in the Financial Times or like mainstream news, which just further positions his brand for other opportunities.
I think there's another lesson here for small business owners as well, is don't get trapped into thinking that because this is your business, this is the only opportunity you have to make money, right? He could have easily said, I'm an actor. What do I know about running a business, right? Or even when he had the gin, he could say, I'm an alcohol spirits distributor. What do I know about football? And he seems to always be willing to take that chance and push that envelope. God bless him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the book of the week, my friend.
Are we skipping promotion of the week this week?
Oh, well, apparently we're not because you just brought it up, so that's a good thing. Let's talk about the promotion of the week, my friend.
So, super excited. It happens once a year. We have got our annual Ultimate Entrepreneur Awards.
Yes, looking forward to that. This will be the third year that I get to host these. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun and tough crowd to follow. So 2 years ago we had Georgia Kirk of Right Business Results. Last year we had Rob Stone of InstaSpark, and I don't know if these guys are going to run for it again, but there are some a number of the fastest growing businesses in the UK going to be on stage fighting out for the title of the Ultimate Entrepreneur.
Let's unpack this for the people that aren't customers of yours and they don't belong to the mastermind. The Ultimate Entrepreneur is a competition that you hold once a year where you, and anybody can enter. They don't have to be your customer. They can just simply go to the website, they can enroll, and they can throw in their financials to get into the candidacy. And then I think we narrow it down to, is it 10 or 8? I forget.
I forget as well. I think it's 8.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just say top 8, yeah? Where the top 8 get to present their companies live at your CEO Mastermind coming up in June. And the winner gets £10,000, excuse me, right out of your pocket.
Yeah,
that's
literally that's true.
That's pretty cool. So a great opportunity to put your business on the map, get some exposure to other successful B2B companies, and you might get a chance to win £10,000 right out of Dan's pocket.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good deal.
We'll put a link in the show notes. So there's 2 things. One, do you want a chance to compete for the prize of Entrepreneur of the Year?
Can't win if you don't compete.
Quite. And secondly, it's just being in a room of some of the fastest growing people that are on the ground now. This isn't people that just stood up telling some stories. People are running real businesses, scaling companies in the UK. You get around those people. Yeah.
Well, plus we also have other segments, like we've got the Dan's Best Kept Secret, where we are just hitting it out of the park. The first one that we did, you had your first billionaire, self-made billionaire, come in and talk about his adventures in entrepreneurship and his failures and his successes. Then after that, we had the head of one of the largest social media companies come out to talk about artificial intelligence and where it's at, where it's heading, and what you need to be aware of. And then in the one in June coming up, is it going to be June? I'm trying to make, it'll be June. We've got another entrepreneur that had a successful exit of over £50 million for his company as well. This is great to be able to meet those type of individuals. You can't get it anywhere else. Yeah. Yep. And literally you can't get these people anywhere else because we specifically...
These aren't the people that are... these aren't people that are just on stages so they sell books and they're on the circuit. I mean, these are people that just... They do business. That's what they're all about.
Yeah. So, all right. There we go. Good promotion. Now we can talk about the book of the week.
Are you certain about that?
I'm not, actually, at this point in time, because now I'm like, wait a minute, where are we at there? But yeah, I do believe it's book of the week.
It is book of the week. And this is a classic. And when we were reviewing it, Topher, we realized that we hadn't put this one in, and it rhymes perfectly with talking about expanding into new markets.
Yes.
Right? The Brewdog News earlier in this episode. This is an absolute must-read. It was my favorite book that I read a couple of years ago. And like you, I read 100 books a year.
Well, to be fair, you read about twice as much as I do. I'm between 50 to 80 a year. You're between 100 to 150 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to know. So I already know what I loved about this, but I want to know what you got out of it.
I don't think we said that. Did I say the book title?
I already threw the slide up.
Okay.
Yeah,
but some people might be listening. So
that's a good point.
The book is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So this is the founder of Nike. This is his, I guess it's his autobiography. It's his memoir.
Yeah.
And it covers from Nike from its inception all the way up to when it floated on the stock market, which I think from memory was in the 80s sometime.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
And it made him the richest, one of the richest men in the United States. It made him a billionaire overnight. And it rhymes with Richard Branson's original book, Losing My Virginity, i.e.
a lot of similarities,
it's just lurching from cash crisis to cash crisis to cash crisis. And even though it was growing and expanding, there was constantly existential crisis threatening the company's impending doom.
What was your favorite part about the book?
Oh, good question.
Well, while you're thinking, I'll go ahead and tell you what my favorite part was, because I already got this. for me, my favorite part about this book was exactly what you just said, which was you were just waiting for the next chapter to where he would get out of pain, right? You think, okay, all he's got to do is overcome this hurdle, and then he's on easy street. It's going to be great. And then the next chapter, he did. He overcame that one, and he's just in as big of a hot fire, if not a bigger one. And the big realization for me, I realized from this book was, it never gets easy.
Right, that's good.
Right? And if you can't come to grips with that it never gets easy, and the next plateau is not going to be any simpler. In fact, you might even be able to say that the next plateau is going to be harder. And to the degree that you can't handle that, you can't handle the business.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love that. Yours may trump mine, actually, because the one I was going to say, there's one particular crisis in the book where everything's going great and it's all teed up, and this has happened multiple times. So you I'm expecting it by this point. But they have literally record-breaking sales. It's just expanded, new country, and right when everything's absolutely tipped, because they've got cash cycles, right? So they would sell a load of stuff, have all the money, but of course they've got to then get the stock, and they've got to have more stock and new product lines that needs to be developed. So that there's investment for growth. Growth consumes cash, and they're all teed up for the next stage of growth. And right when they're ready, just about to launch again, the bank pulls their line of credit.
Yes, I remember that one.
And it's like, you've got a week or whatever ridiculous short taste of time to come up with umpteen $1 million when that for them was an astronomically large amount, impossible.
Yeah.
Or it's like everything's being pulled. It's all being called in, and the whole thing, which at this point he'd already been working on for 10 or 15 years, is going to come crashing down around you.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't handle that stress. I'll admit it. That would have put me in hospital.
Yeah, it's... So your lesson of saying like, it doesn't get any easier, but also I just love the tenacity and problem solving, because some of the ways that they solve problems, it's just like entrepreneurship at its finest.
Yeah.
I mean, one might say critically that like actually preemptively you're solving it before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
It would be a smart way of doing it, but I guess if he was doing it again, he would approach it differently, because some of the crises could have been foreseen and avoided. But true ingenuity, like life is going to give you, is going to come out of left field sometimes.
Yeah.
And
have they done a documentary about this, like a movie with his? Because that book read so good, it could easily be a movie.
Yeah. Well, actually, interestingly, I don't believe there is. I agree. Yeah. This absolutely is a movie. I don't think there is a movie, albeit there is a movie of a subset that's about to come out. Because our mutual friend Daniel Priestley sent me the trailer to it. And it's to do with, it's not to do with Michael Jordan, but it's to do with the guy that was behind Air Jordan.
Yes, the story of Air Jordan. Correct, yes.
Yeah, and obviously that's kind of contained within this book, because also in this book is how they did all these unbelievable strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
And of course you're dealing with the egos of mass superstar celebrity athletes, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an absolute classic. And for any business owner, there's so many business lessons, but even if you weren't a business owner, you won't be listening to this podcast, but it's just entertaining as hell. So shoot off.
I will tell you this, the other thing, you read that book, you close that book cover going, I'm never going to bitch about my problems again.
100%. 100%. Right? It just, the upside and the downside don't necessarily correlate directly, but you kind of go, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, you got a newfound respect for
a whole new perspective.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Am I prepared to push that far?
Yeah.
Nope. I have my wife and kids out on the street because my house has been repossessed because the bank have called in. Tough times.
Incidentally, by the way, I just watched a video on YouTube about why Elon Musk bought Twitter. Do you know the story about why his hand was forced?
No. Actually, I've got a guess, but go.
Very similar to Phil Knight. The banks basically went to him and said, we're ending it. All of the banks that he was doing through Tesla and SpaceX, they all came to him and said, you've committed to this. If you don't, we're pulling all your funding. And he was going to lose everything unless he actually came up with the money to buy Twitter.
Yeah, I'd heard a version of that, and it might be the same.
And I could be mixing it up a little bit.
It might be the same story, because I'd heard a version of that because it was on at whatever point, and of course he was using bank debt to do it. They'd already gone and secured the debts on the market.
That's what it was. Yeah, they'd secured the debt, and so he couldn't back out. They were like, fine, you pull this, we're pulling everything.
And we said one way on this podcast, we forecast just because you've had previous success doesn't mean you're always hitting it out the park. I mean, look, Richard Branson, Elon Musk in a sense you could argue is this decade's Richard Branson. That's unfair because what Elon's achieved is far surpassed Richard Branson. But at the same time, you kind of go, Richard Branson was like the golden child, but people forget of the number of failures.
Oh, all of them, yeah.
And we said Twitter, this ain't going to work and it's not looking good. But at the same time, I don't want to bet against exceptionally smart people that have lots of money.
Yeah. Put it this way, it wouldn't surprise me if Twitter, in its current format, fails. He may have to fire sell it or something like that. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's going to go away, but it might go away from him. But it's also, I don't think it's going to kill him. It's going to bring him down. Yeah, it'll be a setback, and he'll bounce back from it.
It'll be interesting. It could be like General Magic, like it dies and then it reforms. Anyway, different stuff, which teases up quite nicely for the quote of the week.
Yes, let's go for that.
So this is by Albert Schindler.
Allegedly.
Yeah, 1 of 20, and this is not the guy from the movie Schindler's List.
No, not that Schindler.
By the way, side note. Every time I get in you would call them an elevator, a lift, we call them in the United Kingdom, and I see that it's made by, have you seen Schindler's Lifts?
Yes, I have. As soon as you said that, I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen that before.
Every time I get in a lift, not in the UK, but every time I see it, like it's a prominent name, I just go, that's just brilliant.
Yeah.
It rhymes with the Fair Week.
Yeah, Lord of the Bins. Lord of the Bins.
But interestingly, I guess you can't copyright just a surname as it relates to an elevator company. It's interesting, but every time I see Schindler's Lift, I go, that's brilliant. Yeah, it is. Anyway, and a good film.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is in no way correlated with the quote of the week, which is just a good reminder, which is, if you are not taking care of your customer, your competition will.
Well said, whoever said that.
I think there's...
about 20 people on the internet. But I was Googling, I was like, who said this?
Who's the U.S. president that everybody always attributes quotes to?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's who said it.
That's who said it. Yeah, well, probably Jeff Bezos probably said it as well. Damn you, Currys.
Yeah.
Get my coffee machine. Thank you, Curry. Thank you, Amazon, for delivering it the next morning. Yeah, you took care of me. I got my caffeine fix, my friend.
All right. With that, my friend, let's
wrap it up.
Wrap it up before we derail too hard.
All right. If you want a better business, you need to become a better business owner. See you next week. I hope you enjoyed that episode. 3 things you need to do now. Number 1, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you do not miss an episode. Also, get on over to Amazon to get a copy of my latest book, Turnover is Vanity, Profit is Sanity, 9.5 steps to improving your profits and cash flow. Also, join our Facebook group, the Turnover is Vanity, Profit is Sanity community, to connect with other business owners.